Monk Mode, a way of living to cut the fat from your life in order to be more productive, get to know yourself, and achieve your goals. At the start of 2021, I took 3 months to focus on personal and mental growth. I did this by not drinking alcohol, working less, exercising more, journaling, and listening to new audiobooks. And I can honestly say this was a life-changing 3 months for me. So to start 2022, I wanted to try something similar, except this time placing more of an emphasis on business and productivity. Typically, I'd wake up at 7:30 a.m., but for this 3-month monk mode period, I woke up at 5 a.m. every single day to finally answer the question, does getting up early make you more productive? Every morning, my first alarm goes off at 5 a.m., the second at 5:05, but if I'm being honest, I typically hit snooze once or twice and get out of bed at 5:10 or 5:15. I follow this up with a quick stretch. I like to do this because stretching separates me being on technology from me waking up in the morning because I primarily work on my phone and computer. It's easy to just get up and immediately stare at a screen. From there, I make my breakfast. Every day is the same. English muffin with cream cheese to start out with. Later in the morning, I'll make eggs or some type of protein. From there, I make my coffee, which is extremely basic. I use a Keurig, just put a little bit of half and half in there. Simple. And I wish I could say the next part of my routine had some intention. Maybe I would journal during this time if I was perfect, but I'm not. And I typically scroll through my phone while I eat my breakfast and drink my coffee, look at social media, read my emails, check out NFTs, just something mindless before I sit down and focus. From here, I move on to writing a task list for the day. Some days this list is very detailed, more micromanaging style, and some days it's more broad, depending on the types of tasks that I need to get done. And from that list, I identify the tasks that I think I can get done between 5:45 and 7:30 a.m., and I focus on getting it done in that specific amount of time. YouTube, what is good? So if you have not noticed by now, photography is not the only thing that I care about. Self-improvement is a big part of my life as well. And it's why I like to incorporate more living better life type things into this YouTube channel along with photography. So if you're new here, my name is Evan Ranth. I'm an Atlanta-based photographer, and this channel is about exploring photography ideas, making money with your camera, and living a better creative life. So if that sounds like you, hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if today's video helps you out. So this whole monk mode concept is something that I actually did last year without even knowing that concept existed. I saw it on the internet probably mid last year and said, hey, that was something that I just tried by myself. Cool, I guess I'm onto something here. But my self-improvement journey, I guess you would say, started really in 2016, around the time I started this YouTube channel. I was really just feeling terrible. I mean, I was feeling like shit, if I'm being completely honest with you, and I wanted to know why. So I took a proactive approach to figuring out why, and I just started trying new things. I started reading new books, started trying to get out more, and one thing that I discovered was running, which completely changed my life. I realized that even though I was going to the gym and weightlifting, I didn't really feel like I was actually taking care of my body, and once I started running, a lot of anxiety about my health went away. And that's when I learned a really valuable lesson about life. To get the most out of this experience, you have to try new things. Sometimes you're going to fail, sometimes you're going to succeed, but the value you gain in perspectives from doing something new is basically what life is. It's how you grow, how you get better, how you change. And if you don't, you just stay in the exact same place your entire life, which unfortunately for a lot of us is not as good of a place as it could be. So in 2021, when I did this for the first time, I read a book during that time called The Guide to the Good Life, which is essentially a Stoic philosophy book. One of the key concepts that they talk about in this book is this idea of limiting your desires so that you have an understanding of how those desires actually affect you. So last year I did no alcohol and realized, alcohol can have a negative impact on my life if I let it, but there's also a valuable way that I can, take advantage of it and enjoy it in a controlled way. And I wouldn't have had that perspective had I not taken 3 months away from it. And the same exact concept applies to a routine. When you switch up your routine dramatically, you start to realize what pieces of your daily routine that you thought were important actually are and which pieces are not. So if you followed the channel for a long time, you're aware that I am not a morning person. I have never been. Typically, I used to wake up close to 8:39 every day, and I slowly pulled that back to 7:30, but I've never been one of these people who's able to get up at 4, 5 in the morning like The Rock and all these productivity people on the internet. So that was the objective of this, was was give it a real fair try. Can I be this productive person, or am I okay doing what I've been doing, waking up at 7:30, living the life that I live? And the results were pretty interesting. So the first thing that I noticed is I was actually more productive. I feel like I got a lot of things done in this time for my business that I would not have done otherwise. The main things being starting a TikTok account, understanding how that works, being able to gain the insights to make those videos on this channel about Instagram Reels versus TikToks, also incorporating the preset module into the videos and adding a free preset to my website, changing the coaching system that I use from Patreon over to my website. I was able to accomplish all these extra things, and on top of that, still maintain this YouTube channel and maintain the content that I was putting out online. So I felt really good about that. And I was also able to maintain my fitness. I felt focused for the most part, but some of the negative things that I noticed about doing this is that I became extremely one-dimensional. Essentially, my entire life was work and exercise, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for a short-term period. That's kind of the idea of this whole monk mode thing, but it made me realize there is some importance to real balance in your life. If all you have is work, it eventually is going to wear on you, which is what happened to me, especially as the weather started to warm up. I realized, this is completely unsustainable, and it's not something that I'm going to be able to do forever. And ironically, it wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. that felt unsustainable. What felt unsustainable was being in this constant state of work. It almost put me in what felt like sort of a real scarce mindset. It turns out that waking up at 5 a.m. is something that I want to continue doing because I was wasting a lot of time at the end of my days. So before I did this experiment, I was going to bed typically at 10:30 at night, and I was watching Netflix or something for maybe an hour at night to try to chill, hour and a half. That time can be cut down to maybe 30 minutes, and I can go to bed at 9 or 9:30, and I really don't miss anything in my general life enjoyment level. And I can wake up at 5 and still get a lot of things done and have more of my afternoon open, which is what I really desired. Through this experiment, I realized that what I actually wanted wasn't to be more productive, it was to have more freedom in the times of the day that I enjoy. So I can go to the pool, I can go running, I can go exercise when it's nice and warm out in the summertime and not miss out on work, which is something that I kind of did last summer. Last summer, I essentially took the entire summer off, which I don't have the luxury of doing right now. And this experiment also illuminated this idea that as artists and creatives and freelancers, we go through periods of sprints and periods where we kind of pull back. This is something that I've noticed for years doing this job and working like this. I have periods that are extremely busy and periods that are a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more chill. And it's really cool to mentally understand and know and gain the strength that you're in control of when you do this and when you don't. There's going to be times in your life where you have to push, and it's comforting to know that you have that capacity and that ability to do so. But it's also comforting to know that you have the capacity and the ability to pull back and find some balance in your life when you need it, and just walk this tightrope between really focusing on what you need to get done and also enjoying your life. And that's controversial to some people as well. I know there's a lot of people out here who believe that you just have to hustle your life away. Everything you do should be for your work because you should love your work. I'm not one of those people. I love photography, but it doesn't make up everything of who I am. I love helping people, but it doesn't make up everything of who I am. I also enjoy going out and walking in the sun. I enjoy going and sitting by the pool and writing in my journal. I love that stuff, and it's not part of my job. And by doing an experiment like this, I now found a way to get more of that in my life and also maintain a balance and essentially do what the definition of monk mode is, which is find the fat and cut it out and then maintain that into your more everyday normal life. So I highly recommend, if you're someone out there who wants to make a change in your life, maybe adopt this approach. Give it a shot. Give yourself 3 months of extreme dedication to just figuring out who you are, trying something new, and then when it's done, you can go through and re-put the puzzle pieces together and figure out how all these new lessons can apply to your life, and you can live the best one that's possible.